I want to talk to you about Experian credit dispute forum, and we want to go. I want to do a walkthrough of that credit dispute forum, so you have a clear idea. If you want to initiate a credit dispute through Experian, at least you have a full walkthrough of the forum itself. So I want to first show you on the screen here. This is the first part of the dispute forum. So if you want to initiate anything through Experian, this is a form that you have to actually print out and you have to fill out and then mail to the credit bureau. Okay, and so this form is pretty straightforward. Nothing really complicated. They're asking you for a series of data here. So they're asking you. So you have your first name, last name, and if you have some kind of generation prefix or a suffix, you have a senior, junior, first, second, third. You know, like James, John Doe the third, all that kind of stuff. And then you have to put your social security number. So be very clear here and do not make any mistake when it comes to that. And you want to put your date of birth. Now, the thing is that you have the option also to, even though you are filing this, you can file this electronically or you can file this via regular mail. I mean, we advise all our viewers to do both. So you basically initiate things online, but if you need to have some kind of paper trail because you never know if this thing were to go far, let's say to go to court, you want to have a paper trail. So you want to file this dispute form also through snail mail, through regular USPS mail, if you will. Okay. So but you can also if you want Experian to notify you of results as soon as possible, you want to fill out the top. You see the top where it says email. You can put your email address there. So if there is any notification, they'll let you know real fast. Let's say if they have results of the dispute, whether positive or negative, they'll let you know via email. So one thing I want to say also when it comes to a current identification information is that you are able to confirm whether or not a series of things are sort of accurate. For instance, they want you to put your spouse's name. So if you're married and you have this is important if you have some joint accounts or let's say you have joint credit cards or you have things that you are sharing with your spouse or you have your spouse listed as as an authorized user. I mean, this happens. Then you want to make sure that your spouse's name is accurate and that you have to tell Experian if the date of birth is actually inaccurate. If it's not accurate, then you want to put there the actual the accurate date of birth, and then you want to go through the form. So the telephone number, your social, your employer, the address. That's whatever is not accurate. You have to say that, and also now you have to talk about the dispute. Boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. The second part of the forum. So the second part of the forum is actually about the dispute. I showed you the dispute. Actually, is pretty straightforward. Now, Experian has three dispute sections. In other words, you have the possibility to actually initiate three different disputes through one form. So you can send a one credit dispute form, but you can actually have three separate disputes. As you saw a little earlier, the first screenshot had a dispute section, and this screenshot that you're seeing right now has also two dispute sections, so that makes it three. So for each dispute section, we are talking about you providing to Experian the company name, your partial account number. Don't give them the full account number, just give them the first four digits, whatever, or the first six digits, and they'll have a clear idea what you're talking about. But you got to be really detailed about every dispute. So you have three disputes, but be as detailed as possible. So you have to really see, you have to check the specific box that applies to your situation. So for instance, I believe this item is incorrect because the payment was never late. The account is closed, paid in full on what date? If you say this account was paid in full, you got to specify exactly the date on which you actually paid the account in full, because what's going to happen here is that Experian is going to cross interrogate a few people, not only the data provider, the merchant, to be sure that what you're saying is actually accurate. Or you can say the account included is in bankruptcy. So then you have to put if it's chapter 7, chapter 11. I mean, whatever chapter it is, you have to really say that, and you have to put the filing date because Discover is going to cross-reference court documents to make sure that you are in the right. And you can say this is not my account, but who does it belong to? You have to specify the person. And if there's anything else that is not actually listed here, you have to explain. So it's all about you providing as much evidence to Experian so they have a clear idea what's really happening. So, that level of granularity you have to have it for all 3 dispute sections. Very important. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Experian credit dispute form. This is a walkthrough of the form, so you have a clear idea what to expect if you are actually filing a credit dispute form through Experian. I want to quickly talk to you about, so I want to give you a few instructions, if you will, for disputing Experian, like your Experian records by mail or digital upload, right? So I think I've said before, you have the option to do mail dispute or digital upload. Now, digital upload is faster, that's for sure. But if you have to, if you want to keep, if you want to retain proof of, let's say, some kind of physical proof, you also want to send, you want to go through the regular USPS sort of process. So everything is fine. If there is a problem, if there is any question, at least you know that you can go back to your records and really cross check anything. Okay. And so when you actually, so first of all, you need to send your request to Experian, PO Box 4500, Allen, Texas 75013. So again, it's very important that you send your request to Experian, PO Box 4500, Allen, Texas 75013. And when you actually send your request, you need to include all of the following when initiating your dispute, all of the following. So you have your full name, including middle, initial, and generation, such as junior, senior, third, second, so on and so forth. Your date of birth, you got to have your date of birth. See, the breadth and depth of information that Experian is asking you is because they want to make sure they are talking to the right person. And also they are actually, they are validating data relating to the right person. So you also want to have your social security number. If you have never been issued a social security number, please note that in your request. You also want to include all addresses where you have lived during the past 2 years, not 5, not 10 years, 2 years. You want to have one copy of a government issued identification card, such as a driver's license, state ID card, etc. And you want to have one copy of a utility bill, bank or insurance statement. So it has to come from a service provider, okay? And the more established the service provider is, the better it is for you. So if you get a bank statement, if you get a statement from a bank, that really cannot be more authoritative than that. So that's really important to think about. So you want to look at the like a pretty established provider. So one thing I want to say is that when we talk about the Experian credit dispute form, you want to list each item on your report that you believe is inaccurate. So, but simply because you think it is inaccurate doesn't mean that Experian is going to believe you, right? Without you adding some kind of backup, without you substantiating your claim, you're not going really far. So basically, when you list each item on your report that you believe is inaccurate, you got to put the account number, but also the specific reason you feel that the information is incorrect on the form. Because, I mean, Experian may have a different set of data, than the one that you have. So you got to really substantiate. You got to really explain why you think there is a delta between the data you have and the data Experian has. Remember that there is no charge for submitting a dispute. Experian is not going to charge you, and do not actually fall for third-party schemes asking you to provide your credit card data, whatever, for them to initiate an Experian credit dispute for you. No, you can do it yourself, and it's pretty straightforward. As you saw, the form is pretty straightforward. You can do it yourself. You can do it either electronically or you can do it manually. And you want to send your completed dispute information to the address that I gave you a little earlier, right? So PO Box 4500, Allen, Texas 75013. And you only want to include copies and do not send original documentation. You always want to have copies. Do not send original documentation. Experian has the expertise in-house to validate. I mean, they can validate whatever information you send them and know whether it's for real or fake. You may also submit this form and supporting documentation electronically, as I said a little earlier. There's actually, I'll show you the form later on. I'll show you the website later on, the page later on. It's called Experian.com upload. So this is kind of cool. And if you are blind or visually impaired, you have a right to receive your dispute results in an alternative format such as Braille, large print, or audio CD, and can request so on the form. So this is kind of cool because we love the accessibility here. And so once Experian receives your request, they will contact the furnisher of the information or the vendor who collected the information from a public record source, such as a court or other government office. So when they complete their dispute process, which may take up to 30 days, they will send you the results by mail. If you provide them with an email address in the submission form, they will notify you by email as well. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about an Experian credit dispute form. This is a walkthrough of the form. Let me quickly talk to you about something that's important. And see, the thing is, when you actually have the ability to dispute the form electronically or by mail, right? I said this before. So snail mail or electronically. So what you have on the screen now is basically the when you go to Experian.com upload. This is actually your conduit to submit all kinds of information electronically. And what our team advised you to do is to actually have those two. So you want to do things electronically, but things also manually. So electronically, basically, we didn't want to show you all the different forms, but basically it's a 3-step process. But Experian they request the same type of information. They're asking you on the paper form anyway, right? So your personal information, first name, last name, blah, 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 generation, and they ask you your address, your current address, and also your address in your previous address in the last 2 years. Of course, they're asking for your social security number. And this is kind of important. Now, on this form, which is really interesting, they haven't made it mandatory to provide your social. So you can see on the screen that there is no sort of a red star next to the social security number sort of box, which means that Experian just wants to make sure they can verify your data through another set of sources. So once you do this, you actually if there's a report number, if there is any kind of number that you want to give Experian, of course you can do that. So they're able to cross-check everything a lot faster. And once you do this, you just go to the next step. So the next step is where you have to upload your documentation, your evidence. So this can be anything that revolves around this Experian credit dispute form for you to validate your case. Okay, so that's the second step. And the third step is for you to confirm everything and just click send. So once you send this to Experian, they will start the process of investigation, and they'll get back to you within 30 days, as I said a little earlier. One thing I want to say here is that when we talk about Experian credit dispute form, there is a possibility for you to actually mitigate or at least reduce the number of instances where you have to go through this process. And this happens by you actually subscribing to a service that Experian calls Experian Credit Lock. And a credit lock actually means that you are locking your credit so that you are actually, when you initiate a credit dispute form, or when you are trying to make sure that your Experian credit is actually off the hook when it comes to a new applications. This is kind of cool because Credit Lock gives you the ability to control who can access your Experian credit file. So with a touch of a button, you can lock your credit file, keeping fraudsters and identity thieves away. Now you can try Experian Credit Works. Actually, they have the premium version, and you can try it for free for 7 days. Then after that, you have to pay $24.99. Okay, every single month you are paying $24.99. Now, a credit card, and this is a bummer. We don't like that, but hey, listen, it is what it is. A credit card is required to start your free 7-day trial membership in Experian Credit Works Premium. You may cancel your trial membership at any time within 7 days without charge. If you decide to cancel, your membership will continue and you will be billed $24.99 each month that you continue your membership. You may easily cancel your trial membership online anytime within the trial period without charge. So this is kind of cool. Now, Experian Credit Lock is actually a separate service from Security Freeze. So this is kind of cool. So it's important to really keep that in mind. So Credit Lock actually gives you a lot of flexibility. That's really the bottom line. The flexibility that you're paying for through a Credit Lock is kind of cool because this can actually you can actually use this tool to avoid future Experian credit dispute forms. I mean, you don't have to file this all the time, but this Experian Credit Lock actually gives you also $1 million, up to $1 million identity theft insurance. So if you become a victim of identity theft, you can be covered for the cost of restoring your identity, like fraudulent electronic fund transfers, lost wages, legal fees, and travel expenses. So this is kind of cool. You are covered from head to toe. One thing we also love with this service is that you have 3 bureau credit monitoring. So again, the whole thing is that you monitoring your credit reports from all 3 credit bureaus can be an effective way to detect suspicious activity and signs of identity theft. It can also help you keep an eye on your credit health and make better informed financial decisions. That's kind of important. So you also have a monthly 3 bureau updates. So you can view your updated 3 bureau FICO scores and credit reports every 30 days. Since the information in each of your credit reports may be different, by having this credit lock, you have the ability to stay up to date and compare your credit information across all 3 bureaus anyway. And you are also able to view your Experian dashboard every day to see updated factors impacting your credit. Okay, so you can actually view your updated Experian credit report and FICO score every day, or signing and an easy to read overview that highlights the specific factors impacting your FICO score based on Experian data. Okay, so this is kind of cool. Now, one thing I need to say here is that monitoring doesn't happen right away. So when you sign up and you start paying $24.99, monitoring with Experian begins within 48 hours of enrollment in your trial. So not on the same day. And monitoring with Equifax and TransUnion takes approximately 4 days to begin, though in some cases cannot be initiated during your trial period. So, you may cancel your trial membership in Experian Credit Works anytime within 7 days of enrollment without charge. And this is kind of important to keep in mind because otherwise you might actually find yourself in a situation where you are paying for something you don't know you don't need in the first place. So this is kind of important to keep in mind. Really happening. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.